Good morning, everybody. All right. So what was yesterday's thinking? Yesterday's thinking was about catch-up trades and turnarounds. Um, Dow Transports, Russell playing some catch-up and beginning to outperform the others since they've been underperforming. So it wasn't that my thinking did anything, of course, but what guided my thinking was historical norms as to what underperforms, what outperforms, what's likely to happen, right? Which is what we do each day as traders, right? We somehow we come to some conclusion about what we believe is going to happen in the future, and how we get there can be very different. Uh, but from those of us that use charts, of course, without indicators, we look at the price action, um, and it guides us to, hey, if this market is as bullish as it has been, money rotates into underperformers. And so we see the Dow broke out. We've got a wide range bar, resistance is up ahead. And as long as it doesn't go back down here, right? Back down here. And at this point, you remember earlier in the week, one of the comments was, hey, this gap should not get filled. If things are as bullish as they are at this gap open, another guidance as to the market guiding me, as to what to think, what's my bias. It's that, okay, I see this gap up. Kind of like you can see here, this bullish island reversal, gap down, sideways, gap up. That suggesting it's going to go higher. Well, suggesting doesn't always turn out to be reality. And so, based on historical norms, that gap won't get filled, not that day anyway. And it didn't. And so then there was kind of a pseudo 1, 2, 3. Forget the gap because that's a move from here to here. It's almost like it's interpreted as like one bar, as long as it doesn't fill the gap. Anyway, so we had continuation, and this consolidation, this boring chop back and forth, becomes a very significant support area, that should not be violated, and especially last week's low, since it's a wide range bar. Now, that doesn't mean it won't come down a bit, give or take, but it shouldn't go back down here. When it does, this upward move is over for the time being. All right, others, transports, didn't participate as much, but looking at stocks within the transports, they should start playing catch up. All right, this has got room to go up. Let's get rid of my little doodles here. And so now we've got a wide range bar out of a consolidation, assuming it closes this way by the end of the day. Next week could be a consolidation. So what does that guide us? It's going to go up. If it goes back down below last week's low, something's very wrong. Black and white. Ideally, it stays in the upper half, the upper third, or it just keeps going up. Remember, this consolidated for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. There really should be no significant consolidation. It could be a day or two, but this should continue to go higher. Right? So buy dips, look at stocks within the transportation index, see what's outperforming, what's other underperforming should play catch up. The other comment was IWM. It should have a turnaround day. Now that wasn't telling the future, so to speak. This was just another guidance as to what happened. It was so strong those prior days that it moved up from, like, I don't even think that you can go back and look, but I don't even think there was a pivot on a 5 minute chart, and certainly not on the 15. Well, you can see that move there, how strong it was. Um, so historically, what should happen? historically, we should get a red bar ignored, right? And one of the, we always try to share some experiences from the past for those that are starting out. And one of those experiences is don't get too caught up on one bar, especially in an uptrend. So if you're new to trading and you're especially as an intraday trader and you see the kind of selling that was occurring on this day, and it's like, how could it possibly recover from something like that? No, it's got to go down here. Well, as you can see, it doesn't have to go down there. And as we look some details, it came down to minor support on the 65-minute. It stabilized and it started moving up and it continued to move up. So, yesterday morning, for those of you that, we continue the stream, and of course, those of you in the green room, um, the thought was here's this consolidation from the prior day, and it was gapping up above it. What was that here? I forget to get lost in all of these gray areas, overnight trading. But it was, you look at the 5-minute chart without this on here, I guess right here, right? It was taking out that high, um, and up and away it went. So multiple time frame analysis guides us. A wide range bar down, look at that and say, how can it recover from that? That was that selling that occurred that day. Well, you have to have a thought process. And one of those thought processes is that trend trumps one bar, right? Meaning that I see that wide range bar, but what about these big wide range bars? The way it went up, there should be buyers down here. So that's a part of the thought process, right? That's belief. Then you go to the chart and you say, okay, do they actually show up? And they did, right? It starts moving up above the resistance I just said, and so that leads to, okay, buy it and see how it progresses from there. So we've got this reversal. Uh, you know, okay, news came out on PCE. It came in a little higher. Personal spending, right, went down by what, 100%, whatever the numbers are. They were expecting, well, previous was 0.2. They were expecting 0.1. It came in at a negative 0.1. Right. So that was a bit of a surprise, but yes, it's, you know what, a little bit of a down move. Put it in the contrast of the daily chart. Who cares if personal spending went down? That's what the market is saying. We believe the market's going up. So, well, there's this little reaction here. It should recoup whatever this is or chop around. And by next week, if everything is still firing on all cylinders, this should keep going up. And here you got the weekly chart. And we've got a weekly red bar ignored. And I believe, just based on this price action, that this should close somewhere around here, give or take, by the end of the day. And next week, it should be going up toward that resistance area. Now, the S&Ps, we're going to take a look at the Qs. They should continue to go up as well. However, and just based on historical norms, which is what we're discussing yesterday and today, this should start outperforming. Right? So money should want to go into this, rotate into this, as they take some money out of the outperformers, and this should move up toward resistance. So that's a bias going into next week, and with any bias, and you see how it plays out. All right, Qs. Now this is up, gaps up, a couple of more days up. Odds are today's going to be a resting day. I mean, some things are up a little bit here. That was gapping up, and you see where it is right now. It's still gapping up. It's still positive, but odds are, right, it's likely to consolidate the gain, and we'll see. One thing, I'm not going to spend time looking at it now, but one thing you would be worth taking a look at is what's the highest open interest in call options on the QQQ. And so you got a whole number up there of 550. I don't know that it'll get there today. It was on its way of getting to that area. You see, this was at 549 and change, and then the number came out and things pulled back a little bit, but still not a big deal. Okay. But, going from here up to there at some point, and you can see the 65-minute, it's likely to just consolidate a bit. Normal. Unfilled gap down there in alignment with the 50. We'll see when and if it gets there. Well, someday it will get there. Probably before the end of this year, I believe it'll get there. So large support area that will not be touched today, and come back to that next week. And there's the golden cross that I kind of made a little joke about earlier in the week, that was coming or should be coming, and how the death cross pretty much marked the low. And will this mark a high? It's probably relatively close, right, to some kind of high. Now, any kind of high that occurs should stay above here. And so wide range bar. Now you got a wide range bar after this has been advancing for a few months. So it could be a wide range bar ending since it's accelerated, but we don't have evidence of that yet. So that'll be what we'll be watching for next week. Evidence of slowing momentum. Maybe it accelerates a little bit more. In other words, getting closer to a risk-off situation. Now, how do we come to a little more guidance of that? Our market internals. And our market internals say that there's gas in the tank, and this breadth internal here supports the bias that the Russell and the transports and other underperformers, right? There's gas in the tank for them to bring up the rear, or that catch-up trade situation, right? What about inflation data for underperformers? I think that the inflation data is coming in, whether it's manipulated or not. And I'll just say this, the market doesn't care right now. Right? I think that's past us. And so when you see oil collapsing and interest rates collapsing, it's like the market doesn't believe that there's inflation. So while, Chairman Powell says he wants to be conservative and make sure inflation comes down to 2%, the markets are saying, you know what, whatever you're saying, I don't care. Right? We're taking interest rates down. And so more of what guides us besides that kind of information is our method. And when I see that sentiment and breadth are not at an extreme, it supports a bias that those underperformers can play catch up. Now, if these were at extremes, I would say because of the internals, I think that's less likely. And it doesn't mean it can't happen. It just means that historically, I'm looking at objective data that says the tank is almost empty. This is telling me the tank is not empty as far as looking at market internals go. So there's room for more speculative interest and outrageous bullish sentiment. You might say, aren't they bullish now? Look at the all-time highs. Well, if they were at an extreme bullish level, these lines would be up through these upper bands. They're not. And so while we think of situations that, the market's up several days in a row, they must be excessively bullish. Well, that's in your mind, right? If you look at the internals and they say, well, they're not yet. Why not? Because of all of this consolidation that's been going on, the news, the whippiness, all of those things that kind of made us crazy during this time day to day. Right now, as this goes up, right, and even if the market pulls back, what we're probably going to see is that these numbers here on a day-to-day basis, right, will continue. Like, see, this is the day-to-day PC ratios. They will continue to go down even if the market pulls back. So traders will continue to buy call options even on pullbacks in expectation that it'll go higher, which totally makes sense, right? And you think it's going to go up, you buy call options to profit from that. So pullbacks should be buyable, whether you use options or just buy the underlying or however, and there's gas in the tank. So let's move it along. You can see here's the 10-year. It's green, but it's got room to continue to drop. We'll see if it does. And it broke down here. So interest rates going lower. They're going lower for why? They don't believe there's inflation, or they believe the economy is going to slow. Now we got some information that the consumer personal spending is declining. That supports an economy slowing, interest rates going down. That's more of the market internals into market analysis. Um, if consolidation lasted 3 weeks, does that mean that after breakout rally should last for 3 weeks? Not necessarily. I mean, I don't know if there's any supporting historical data to support that to happen. Um, I think as a better gauge, just looking at sentiment, does it reach an extreme? In any, at new all-time highs, the expectations is going to keep going up. There's no resistance. And then you apply what I'm talking about. If the internals reach an extreme, we know historically we're closer to the momentum stalling, period. So, we'll just follow along, bar by bar, pivot by pivot, market internals as we do. Right? SECT, KRE, and XBI. Yeah. So XBI, I pointed this out, I think yesterday. It hasn't been able to start moving up meaningfully, but this should play catch up, correct? KRE, right, should break out, got a wide range bar. They should continue to move up. So here, anything that's underperforming and has room to go up, right? Your bias would be buy dips. They should break out and then just follow along. So look, in MT Lives, we often talk about bar by bar or different things happening or shock patterns. So here, and a lot of what our method is based on common sense, right? So two things. I'm going to finish it up here. What should happen is this, right? That's what should happen. Period. Right? Got room to go up. What shouldn't happen is that. And if that happens next week, everything I said goes out the window. Right? And so that would be a shock. It shouldn't, a big green bar shouldn't be followed by a big red bar, period. All right, let's move it along. Right? You don't need indicators. You don't need Ichikumi clouds and all of that mumbo jumbo. Just apply trend, support, resistance. All right, let me move it along to hand it over to Dan. We're going too far here. SPX, spiders. I already got this set up. Maybe it came in a little bit, still gapping up a little there. And this is what I had before coming on as extremes. So look, 6,000 is still the high open interest, and that becomes a major, major support level. And here's our minor support level, the high, the pullback, the advance, the low prior to a higher high, major support, minor support, prior day's low, first support. Here's your strike. Any pullbacks that continue get below 6,100, and any advances should not go up here. Here we take all yours, Dan.
Right. So we are heavily bullish in all of our letters. Okay. And it's Friday, so 0DTE day. Don't forget about that. Today's bias, I'm open to doing either. This alarm just went off Duolingo. It's extended. That was a big old topping pattern. That actually would have been an amazing short right there. You know, we talk about topping patterns, bottoming patterns, and topping patterns are harder. But look, that was your tail, your breakout failure, range expansion. That was your entry. So let's watch this for put spread. Let me get Raul here on YouTube. He's our buy setup expert. Well, that's not a buy setup, but that's a breakout. It's sloppy. It's sloppy roll with this prior high. I mean, I could go through all our breakouts that are superior looking, both open and pending shop. It's sloppy. Put spread a bit. It's a trading range. It's a trading range. Here, I know it's totally different, but let me go to alarms now. Compare that to Autodesk. Remember, Alex, I gave this one to you yesterday? This is superior breakout row. Been going sideways. Look at all these tails. Look at all these downside rejections. Gap up, going sideways, bottoming tail correction bar, bullish weekly. Amazing difference. So, you know, it looks like the stupid gap that's going to mess us up. So we need to wait for a pullback. Let me tell our advisors. Because I posted that. I posted that long pre-market. All right, Applead, yeah, Applead's posted. Yeah. I was actually bidding pre-market. I didn't I don't know, you know, when on my charts when 8 o'clock comes, you get I just got filled on something. You get whip arounds there, but I was bidding in the gap fill pre-market and I did not get filled. But yeah, this is a buy setup. We've been watching this for a couple days. It's a multi 4-bar turn. So yes, I like that a lot. We shorted naked 29.5 puts yesterday with the intent to either take assignment or roll them for cost basis improvement. It's opening up a few pennies. For a directional, Thomas, I would love a 1, 2, 3, but I'm in it by a short puts. A Twilio. That's it's still consolidating in a trading range, but that's better because I like the bottoming tail, and if it can get red bar ignored, you got a bullish weekly monthly. So that could be a put spread. Let me go through alarms here like I always do. Lulu gapping up. It's a Climo. So I said you can buy the week's high, but wait for 5-minute time. XLF. I like as a directional over yesterday's high, half lot, breakout daily, bull rectangle weekly, crowd alarm. That's this. Remember, I was pounding the table on this pattern the other day. So Raul, look at crowd compared to the two you gave me. Look at that. Gap reversal, range expansion, 1, 2, 3, price void, railroad track 2050. I mean, that is a no-brainer. And when we talk about only trading high probability setups, that's, you know, only trade quality, only trade 8 and above. You know, why, you know, we talk about that in the green room. I ask people, well, rate the quality of that. And they say 3 or 5. It's like, well, then why are we talking about it? Why do you want to play in the dumpster? Yeah, Delta Amazon. I posted in our Telegram this morning. Yes, it's a long walk. That's on my list. Just got to work an entry. I see it capping up here, $2 and change. But yeah, that looks good. Delta, that is not a long continuation. That's not a continuation. It's an igniting breakout, but it ran from the bottom to the top. We're currently in a short put spread. You could have bought yesterday. You could have bought yesterday over, what's today, Friday? Over Wednesday's high on that little pullback. But now it is not a continuation pattern. It's an extended pattern that I'd just be in management mode. Coher, Sal, this is yours. My up alarm went off this morning, so I tightened these stuff and Telegram. Spy G. Alex and I are long this. JP Morgan low alarm. So we only have a third left. I said move stop 5-minute low to protect it. We got in on this breakout right there. See, I love getting in the no-brainer points or continuation pattern. That was a continuation pattern. But like SMCI is not an entry. You're trailing if you're in it. So that alarm went off 5-minute low. My AA alarm went off. We already talked about it. Autodesk, we talked about it. Quantum. Alex and I are both long. My up alarm went off. Looks great. ENTG alarm went off. We shorted naked puts on us yesterday. Bottoming pattern looks great. Let me reset my alarm. Eating. We're long. We're long. I noticed it's my fault. We're long the Qs in the ETF letter on this gap breakout, but we've been long QQQE. I know they're weighted differently, but so I tighten the stuff on the Qs and we'll keep this one just to book our gains because it was my oversight. We got two Q ETFs on there. SMC ground, CME alarm. We're in a half lot of this, and this thing's been lagging, but nothing to do now. All right, that's all my alarms. Now let's go to earnings now. Hey, Greg, remember I pulled off a 56 naked put within 10 seconds of the market close yesterday. So I'm gonna just let that expire at full profit. I'm not gonna even pay a penny. There's no reason. I got an alarm at 62. If it retraces this whole gap for some reason, I'll go ahead and close it at a penny. Otherwise, full profit. CNXC 51 and change, no pattern. EPAC 44.50. That's not bad. That could be 30-minute high or a pullback. That's not bad. So let's watch that one. On Toll alarm. This is the Toll House Cookie Company. They make cookies. Oh, this ATF alert coming in. I might get filled on my bid. I was bidding 1460. All right, not yet. So Toll I like. Look at XHB's bottoming. Wow, Alex, you're aggressive. Yeah, I was bidding there. But yeah, I like it. It's just a matter of where to get in, but I like it.
Just put the share sizing under yesterday's low and get in.
No, I'm doing that right now. Fuck, I missed it. I got two more orders out. Yeah, ETM, we sold a third pre-market. Yep. And I got filled on the other affiliate. Good, A level alarm. All right, so 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna hold my short puts because I don't mind being assigned. All right, crowd low alarm. Oh, I don't know. I got to check if that's early alarm or final. ETN, yeah, we sold a third pre-market. And let's go ahead and move stop days low under 353. Fifty-two, 88. Lift low alarm. That was lift was posted yesterday as a long over the high. So it is not triggered. Yeah, AI, yep, is on my list today. Oh, shoot, Appalad, what the hell? Shoot. See, Greg, I was very tempted to tell our advisors to wait for a 5-minute look high. But objection call, I'm in it too.
For what?
Well, just
No,
for
for
this.
what stock? AI?
No, Apple. No, AI I like, it's on my list. I made the turn. I put it in Telegram. Let's talk about Apple and came in a little hard. All right, yeah. All right, ETN. No alarm, 352. Oh, it already stopped ETN. All right, well, that came in hard. Yeah, our the Lyft and Uber got downgrades today.
Because of Elon?
So yeah, nice out on selling a third free market. That Lyft making crowd was crowd official stuff. 498. Yeah, I tightened stop pre-market, so out of that. Wow, it's our only short in all three letters.
Here goes into it.
Into it.
Yep.
Oh yeah, yeah, from yesterday. Yeah, it looks like a fantastic day trade here. Yep, beautiful 15. Sure.
It could go to 800. Not today.
Yeah, I agree. No, it looks good. Oh shoot, plug low alarm.
Good morning, Steve. You're gonna get a tardy notice.
Crowd came in hard, so I'm glad I tightened my stomach.
What came in hard, Dan?
JP Morgan, 5-minute low, so that would be 285.48. Yeah, that was on my list, bottoming pattern intel. Top of the range, I was hoping for another inside bar. Yeah, yeah, striking out. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you could buy it here, stop under these two inside bars. I checked puts, and there was no juice. Hey, okay, so it's doing a little better. Let me reset the lines. Oh, I said we have only one short of the ETF. We're short Michael Jackson with a break-even stop. Toll has room. Big old bottoming pattern. You got it rising 20 and 50 now. I checked puts. There was no juice. Autodesk. I'm looking for more of a pullback. Let's see the put spread at 300. I think there was inadequate credit. Looking at the fangs, Tesla took another little nosedive. Oh, yeah, the spreads are ludicrous on Autodesk. Yeah, there's no pattern there. All right, Duolingo, I'm going to set a new alarm, 404. So moved. That's $9 a week. I don't know what their market cap is. Just an online little language class, $400 done. AMD flying here. Semi's new high. Wow. Look at that bullish consolidation there. But semis are getting tired. So there's no anchor here and just be trailing gains. CNC. Yeah. 5 up alarm. That was a long from yesterday. Let's see what's our cost basis. There's 129, so we can move stop breaking. Yeah, do it. Looks good. I like it. Yeah, looks good. Yeah, yeah. That was a nice pullback yesterday. I remember we talked about the 5 minute or 15 breakdown failure. That was an amazing entry down there at the turn. Let's see, circle here, reversing again. Let me check zero DTE. Do like the 240s or above. 240s or 30 cents at all. So they totally sucked like juice. GE, $3. Tighten the stop here. 250.88. Never got filled on this flip spread. Yeah, no, I liked Amazon. You and I both mentioned it yesterday. That's a gap breakout. Bullish pre-market. Looks higher. That has, I can go all the way to 230. Eat back up. Lippy. Earnings trade. I said I like. Nike. That's a monster cap. That looks like a many month low. And that didn't kill. Urban. Nothing. Pepsi alarm. It's an early alarm. All right, let's cancel the Pepsi short. Was going to be a short yesterday, but it didn't trigger. Lift is still okay if it can get above that red bar. Lulu 237. I said do 5 minute high, which now is too big. So let's hold off that. Work a better entry. Apple, I got a post. So a new alarm on Google. Yeah, it's still a mess. Still case keeps grinding higher. Amazon 0 DTE, that's great. 220. 220, Brent. That's at the money. That's way too tight for us. And we would, I would do the 217.50s, which would be the gap, here in the minor support gap. But 220 is too tight. Meta slow grind. That's a powerful grind. Looks higher. Railroad track 2050. XLF. It's looking good. Cohort low alarm. I think it's a low early alarm. I'm nibbling on XLF here. Over. That was our stop. 82.52. Wow. So that was an early alarm. Let's move stop 30-minute low. Oh no, I said 80. Cohort. 86.78. Let's take this stop for 30-minute low. Nothing. Brighter. Slow and steady. $159. Ah, we're 15 cents away from my first target. Sell a third here, so I don't have to sit here and watch it. We'll have a nice morning also. Looks like it's bottoming here. It's threatening a breakdown here. Hey, that's actually a symmetrical triangle now on the weekly, or descending triangle, whatever, however way you look at it. That's our U down, doing great. I added yesterday into the close. Bulls are in control. Look at the hourly charts. Amazing. You know, when the market did not go down on that gap up the other day. And then we were waiting till after 3. That was the entry.
It's always crystal clear after the fact.
Well, we talked about it in great detail. You can either wait for a pullback, and if you don't get it, then your Sam's going to be giving you that bus emoji. But Alex and I were both aggressive. Because it was an igniting gap. And it didn't pull in. So to me, the chart said buy. The broker doing nothing. We only did a half lot, but you can actually add Monday over the high. And set an alarm at 54.
S&Ps are up at the pre-market high.
I can't hear you.
S&Ps are at the pre-market high. Just took it out. Probably going to back off a little here. There's been no tick extreme. So for those that maybe you could always trade the leveraged, but for those that are maybe hesitant to trade a high price stock, just Intuit, I'm up $10, $10.
Right.
And from where my entry was. And so even though you would share size things smaller than a lower price stock, higher price stocks move. So it's okay to, most traders, I mean, I know I did at the beginning, you shy away from them, but no reason to. Yeah, I've been trying to adjust the mic so it's not overpowering like the other day. Let me boost it a little bit. Picking up the TV. Is that a little better? Okay. This APLD is showing relative weakness, even though it's got a great pattern.
Yeah, and that's after it came out firing.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
and do you wanna, how do we enter? You wanna do Alex's APLD 30-minute high? I was watching a pullback, didn't get any pattern.
Well, uh, I I would suggest buying it right here with a stop under yesterday's low.
Okay.
I'm in it, so if it doesn't work, it's Alex's fault.
Totally agree. Where did you get in?
I got in as it pulled back. I'll tell you exactly. Hold
Well, why
on.
didn't you post it?
Well, whenever we were talking about it, I said do it.
I
Whatever
didn't.
the
You said
position.
do it.
I got in at $10.77. So it's below my entry. I just bought it when I said just buy it with the entry
I
with
didn't
the
hear that.
stop below the low.
Alex, our VTI up alarm. Cat up alarm.
You know what's interesting with cat? Look at deer. And in the past, deer was always doing better and cat was crap. Now it's changing.
Duolingo up alarm. Zero. This will be a good zero DTE pattern. Has no zeros. Wow, the lowest strike. Well, it's actually not that far away when you look at the picture. It's 350. 350 is the lowest strike, and you can get almost $3 for them. But that's not a floating reversal, and I don't like 3 weeks. Yeah, market's in a good mood here. We're just riding our opens. Yeah. Let's tighten the stuff over here. 381.18.
We get the tick extreme, close everything and go away today.
All right, I'm ready.
It's an interesting phenomenon how markets change over years, meaning basic stuff doesn't change. What I'm talking about is the NYSE tick. Whereas years ago, for the most part, it oscillated back and forth. They would spend time, a lot of time, above zero or below zero and this and that. And if it was oscillating back and forth around zero, the markets didn't move very much. Because, it's how many stocks are trading on upticks versus downticks. And over the last couple of years, it oscillates around zero, give or take, a little more back and forth. And the market trends, whatever the direction it's been trending in, until that extreme comes.
AD line is significantly weaker than yesterday. It's like this.
But it's trending up. It's always the trend. I mean, it's great if it's above 1,000 or so and trending higher, or it starts the day above 1,000. But it's always the case that
Right, and we started with a gap up. So right, so why? Yeah, I agree.
well, the
Now
market's
it's
gapped up. Something had to have gent more weakness than the Russell and regionals. They went down. Biotechs went down. It took the until they stabilized. The Russell was just moving lower, but it didn't damage the daily chart.
yeah, Greg mentioned that the other day, and I've said it 4 days in a row. I just don't know how much oomph it has. But maybe Monday will be the oomph day. Ah, Sam, I think this one was yours. Synopsis. I got it from one of you all. That thing's up 22.
Yeah, there was the 5 minute on the diamonds. The 5 minute bar was a wide range bar. It was a guide. Get a gap. It's trending higher. You get a wide range bar. You bring the stop under that wide range bar. It could be the end of move or just maybe advances a little bit slower.
Yeah, I just sold some of my U down right there. Right there, and then although the 15 still looks great. Oh yeah, you mentioned that earlier, Toby. Sorry. Yeah, but today was your entry. You didn't have to wait, Thomas. Yeah, yesterday's high. You got to do a third here. Looked out on a pullback. Looks good. Yeah, I like it. I'm gonna sell some 950 puts for today for a dime. Quickly. Nines for only 10 cents. But yeah, I like it. Do a lingo I'm not gonna mess with, but yeah, I like Toby. Yep, 30-minute high would have been perfect. I think so. Yeah. Geffler, 5192. Friggin' cat, we're out of target. Two, yeah, yeah, two, good. Yeah, Howden's bottom, sure. I had it on my list for a couple of days over here and then took it out. Took it out. Right. Wow, nice move. Yeah, yeah, Jay's better now. Next week, Red Hard Nord. Set an alarm. 30, spot 20. Yeah, that's good. That's not gonna be what I'm doing. Yeah, I'll bid, well, I'm gonna bid. See if I get filled on a pullback. 285.70. Yeah, yeah, looks great. Daily, weekly, a little breakdown failure, agree. Yeah, the entry was 5 minute high. Yep, swatch pull back. Yep, so UTI doing great, slow and steady, bringing. Yeah, that's a bottoming pattern. I'd say I wouldn't call it a breakout. I'd call it a quality bottoming pattern. After yesterday, the last 2 days bars, it closes here. I like the 20 and the 50. Weekly reversal. I mean, footprint for now. This would be a great zero VTE. 267.50. Zero by 11 cents. That is insanely low. We could do 265 for next week. 45 cents. Okay, let's have to pull back on this. Put it here and need Apple in there. Something. Yeah, we forgot this trophy earlier. I don't want to chase, but I love the turn, the little 180. That was a go over yesterday's time. Oh, IWO is what I got filled on that full thing. That was the bill.